Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and today I have a book haul for you. Specifically a book haul from my library. They do a big sale quarterly where you can get a book for between 25 cents and $1. I have to limit myself with these things, otherwise I'll take home the whole place. So I brought a bag that I would leave when it was filled, and this specific bag is, if you can see the pattern on there, one of Claudia from Spinster's Library, one of her designs that she has made for cats in classic literature. This one is Darcy and Elizabeth in front of his house. I am very fond of this idea. I love both cats and Jane Austen. So I took this bag, I filled it up, and I walked out for $10.50. Let's get started. I definitely focused mainly on the middle grade section this time. I only looked in the adult sections for specific things that I knew I wanted because middle grade is just a safer bet for me. So, and of course, aiming towards fantasy. This first one is, I can't read it because the library sticker's in the way. Where's the title page? Ooh, that's a cool thing before the title page. It's Misty Gordon and the Mystery of the Ghost Pirates by Kim Kennedy. I believe it was both the very cool looking cover and the description that got me to pick this up. Suspense, mystery, pirates, and a heroine with the grit and daring to figure everything out with help of her best friend. Supposedly a clever mystery mixing equal amounts of scary and silly. Which sounds pretty good to me. It looks like there's some possibly Olympian stuff going on with this lightning bolt dude, and generally a lot of magic. Yeah, plus I like Glasses Girl. I always like Glasses Girls. Then we have the Menagerie, Krakens and Lies, which is by two people, Tui T. Sutherland and Carrie Sutherland, which makes sense. They have the same last name. They would write together, and it's got a cool cover with the Kraken, but also you can see over, where is it? Over here. It looks like some kind of dragon fish. So that's cool. And on the back it says, someone is causing trouble at the menagerie. The basilisk has escaped. The Kraken's caretakers have gone on strike, and if Logan and Zoe can't solve this mystery, the menagerie will be closed for good. Which, a menagerie holding magical creatures sounds really awesome to me. Another thing that I do when I'm at these sales is I flip open to somewhere in the middle and see if the prose is alright, which I did, and this is quite classic middle grade type writing. If you read across age ranges, you can kind of get a feel for, this is how middle grade authors write, this is how YA writers write, this is how adult writers write. And I enjoy both only female little groups of children and also male and female mixed groups. So Zoe and Logan sounds good. Then what do we have? Ooh, The Beasts of Clawstone Castle by Ava Ibbotson and illustrated by Kevin Hawkes, which I always love something that's illustrated. Also, it has these pages that are like, I don't know what's the best angle to show you them, but they're all uneven at the sides, which is like pretending to be old, which I enjoy. It's got a cool back too with all these squiggles on it. Where's the light? Like that. Let's see if I can find an illustration to show you here. Here's one. And this is another male and female, I'm dropping books. This is another male and female duo, and their adventure starts when they go to stay at their great-aunt and great-uncle's castle. Yes, please. Ooh, Pandora Gets Heart. Grammatically weird title. It's by Carolyn Hennessy, and I picked this up because I've been interested in getting into more ancient Greek stuff since Circe. Circe was kind of a product of that, and it also encouraged me, because I liked it quite a lot, to continue exploring retellings of Greek classics. It's also part of a series. Others in the series are Pandora Gets Jealous, Pandora Gets Vain, Pandora Gets Lazy, and what I think this is Pandora has let a bunch of things out of the box, and they're all roaming around, and they're like embodiments of vanity, jealousy, laziness. What did it say in here? They're going after lust this time. They probably called it heart because they didn't want to put lust on the front of a kid's book. But it sounds like she and a few friends of hers are going around chasing down the various things she let out of the box and are putting them back in, which is not how it happened in the original story, but it sounds like a really cool way of telling it. And this is the 4th in the series, so I need to request the first ones from the library before I read it. Meh. Golden Compass. I got this because it's a big deal and I've never read it. Excuse me while I peel out this sticker that's bothering me immensely. But at the moment, I can't remember what I've heard about the Golden Compass except it's a fantasy. And I think it's old. Where is the copyright page? Why is it so hard to find? 1995. It's not that old, but like it's older than a lot of things. Oh, and it starts off with a poem, which my favorite series, the In Death series, always starts with a couple little phrases in front of it, so that's cool. Oh, and there's a character named Lyra, who is the name of a flying cat from one of my other favorite series. I have a lot of favorite series, but the Avalon, Magic of Avalon, Web of Magic. It's the book you're sitting on right now, the camera is sitting on. Web of Magic, yeah, the Avalon collection. Anyway, I like that name. It has little, I like the way the chapter headings are, and that there's little, focus here, focus, 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 focus. Hopefully there's no spoilers on that page, but I like this and this. But yeah, I've forgotten everything I ever knew about the Golden Compass, but I'm pretty sure it's a standalone, so, oh, it's book 1. It says right on the cover. So hopefully I can read this and then I'll understand the cultural references. That's not good enough. Ooh, then we have one of the old books. There's a section of the sale that has the really old books, which this one is The Coat of Arms by Edgar Wallace. It's got this cool inlaid silvery stuff. It's just falling apart. But it's got this ancient paper, and like it's got the that kind of edging, but it actually is old. That's because it's actually old, and it's got this old print in it. I just like to collect old books like this, and I lost a few in the fire. Obviously they can't be replaced, so this is really cool. It's got somebody's name in it, A.J. Hervey Lloyd, 1935, so it's at least that old. Let me see if I can find the copyright page, which they apparently did differently back then because it ain't here. The date isn't anyway. But I'm very excited just to own this, and I think it is a fiction story. It involves a chief constable, so I'm quite excited about this. Next we have Lioness Rampant by Tamora Pierce, and this is one of the older covers. One cool thing about older covers is they tend to be accurate to the text, which is something I really enjoyed about A Turn of Light, having a cover that's so accurate to the text. And the book that comes after Turn of Light by Julie E. Cerneda has a very accurate cover in that what happens on the cover actually is a scene that happens in the book, and they're dressed the same way and everything, which is something they just don't do anymore because it's not in fashion. But I really enjoy being able to see story details in the cover. So I know that her horse looks just like this, and she's got her little black cat on there, and she's got her shield with the rampant lioness. It's very cool. This series is one that I got into when I was a kid and really enjoyed, and I've been put off Tamora Pierce because she hurt my feelings in one of her more recent publications, but I need to dive back in, and I should probably start with the first adventure, Eleanor's first adventure, which is the first in this series. But it would be nice if I could eventually collect all of the ones from this series in this cover type, but that's a bit of a stretch when I get them all used. But it is about a lady knight in a time when there are no lady knights. She has to sneak in and pose as a boy in night school, and it follows the story of her first 4 years of night school is the first book, her second 4 years is the second book, and then there are 2 books following her as a grown-up knight, with this being the 4th. Advanced Lessons in English Grammar. I got this for funsies because I'm kind of a grammar queen. I call myself that because I really like grammar. I'm really interested in it. Sort of. I'm not interested in the way that people teach it in schools is horrendously boring. If they would teach it with, you know, fantasy books and how to phrase things to best get across your magical concept, you know, which is how I learned it. I learned it by reading. It would be much more interesting, but I just was charmed by this cover, and it's quite old as well. You can tell by the font. 1891? Well, it clearly wasn't published in 1891. I mean, clearly this edition wasn't, but it was made in 1891. That's awesome. So this is going to be a fun reference book for when I'm enjoying myself with the language. I like language of all kinds. I like, you know, other languages as well, which is why I enjoyed learning Spanish and learned it quite well. I'm forgetting it now, obviously, because I don't use it anymore. Then we have The Magic Thief, and there's a subtitle which is Lost, and it is by Sarah Phineas. Once again, a very cool cover. And here we've got a wizard's apprentice, and there is evil afoot in their city, an evil that isn't human. Whoa, another middle grade. Then we have 2 books that I went to the adult section for, and those were these. My mom had collected all of the J.D. Robb books, which is the In Death series, up through, from the first one up through current, Before the Fire. She didn't have them all in print, but she had up through like 35 in print. So we bought the first 30 after the fire because they came together as a good deal, and so now I'm just looking around at used places for the following between 30 and 47, I think, that we don't have in print because I prefer print over ebook. So these were each 25 cents. So that was my book haul. I got 11 books for $10.50, which I got a lot of hardcovers this time around, so they weren't as cheap as they sometimes are, but still pretty good compared to normal price. If you've read any of these or find any particularly interesting and would like me to read them before the others, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!